What is up, everybody? Welcome to Random Encounters. We're back on the air. It's fun to be back. And I'm glad of the way that I'm doing it now. So sadly, the audience no longer exists in the game. It will just be me and the guest in a party, along with, if you were over on Twitter, you will be seeing this from a different angle. Ooh, it's a very fun angle. But the format has changed. Hopefully it will be better. And if you miss the live show, don't worry, because it will be edited together and cut down into an actual TV show after this. So, I've got some stuff to talk to you about today before I bring out my guest. Now, just a little bit of information. My guest today is Davy Jones, the one and only tentacle squid monster himself from the deep blue sea. He's actually a member of the HOA, which is the the Wasteland Homeowners Association. They're a group on YouTube and on Twitch who go around and they help evaluate people's camps. And they also have really fun competitions. I was actually part of a competition at one point to build a vault, and it was so much fun. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be bringing out my first guest of my relaunch, and it is Davy Jones. Davy, would you like to come out and join me on the couch, please? It's pretty simple.
Hi, everybody.
Just come and take a seat, and we'll get on into your fun stuff. You do indeed look like a longshoreman. It's actually really funny. If I zoom in really close on your face, that I'm not going to, you are one scary man. But, ladies and gentlemen, my guest is Davy Jones. He is an agent, which is the weirdest way of describing who you could possibly be, but he's an agent of the HOA, which is a Fallout community, which is probably the best way to put it. And we've brought Davy Jones along today to basically give us a little bit of details about the HOA. He's also going to be telling us what he does, and if he might, I don't know if he knows stuff that's coming up in the future, but if he does, hopefully he will be able to tell us what's going on. So, how are you, Davy Jones?
I'm doing fantastic. So about my character, I like to spend a lot of detail on my character and little nuances. If I commit to a type of character, type of backstory, I fully commit to it. So not only do my building structures, my build, my weapon build, but my character as well fits everything that is nuanced with a souls of lost sailors. So that's my agent of the HOA. HOA is a Wasteland Homeowners Association. We're not a real homeowners association, but what we are is a comedy troupe. We go around, we evaluate camps not only on PS4, but we've branched out to the Xbox. We're trying to eventually maybe make our way to the PC. So PC, we're definitely going to show you some love here eventually, but right now we're sticking on the consoles, but we've been doing really well. We have, I think, a total of 9 agents now across both consoles, and we do live streams, we do game shows, we do anything that can make somebody laugh, entertain, have fun. You know, that's all we're about. We're about gathering the Fallout 76 community, and even now and then we'll kind of branch out in other games too to kind of, you know, capture some other people from those other types of communities. But we're all about evaluating camps, showing off what our talents are and what my talents are. And but yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. I feel like I'm rambling, but
Oh, trust me, it's fun listening. Now, I've actually been part of, I believe only one. Sadly, I was not part of finding Vault Medic. That one I did not participate in, but I was part of a community build-off to build a vault, where I built Vault 69, which was about one guy who thought he was going to repopulate the world, but instead it was just him inside of a vault all alone, so it became the Jerk Vault, which was pretty funny. But that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing that. And you guys are over on Twitch, that's the thing. When is it that you all stream on Twitch? Is it on a regular schedule? Do you have like a set air date for specific things you do? Because you do multiple things on Twitch. You don't just do camp evaluations.
We do. Yes. So typically, we try to do one console a week at least. I mean, like both consoles, but one streaming a week for the camp evaluations. So you can head over to our Twitter handle at HOA at Wasteland HOA on our Twitter. You can follow us, and then that's where you can also submit your camps for evaluations if you want to get your camp evaluated. Our criteria, we have it printed on the Twitter, so you can follow that. A link. We just have some guidelines that, we do give a evaluation at the end of the camp build when we go through it, but we want to see what you've built. But we do have our articles of violations, so you can either pass or you can fail. But it's all in humor, it's all in good fun. We have a laugh about it, so that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, but, I do believe you actually had one going yesterday. Was it yesterday or was it the day before?
Yes, we did have it the day before.
Yes,
so typically we'll try to do it during the weekdays. I know everyone is in all different parts of the world, so it's kind of hard to narrow down to time zones, but we are located on the the west coast of the United States. So typically we'll stream in the evening time during the week. We don't have a set schedule yet. We're trying to finalize that, so that will be down the pipeline here soon, where we'll have a set schedule. But on the weekends, we leave that up to whatever creative options the community can bring, what our agents can bring. So typically on a Saturday, we'll kind of do a free-for-all. Sometimes we'll jump into other games as well, here and then. But that's kind of one of those fun streams. On Sundays is when we do our big events. We do our, trivia or death, game show.
Oh,
we
yes,
do
I've
our
seen
build-offs. Yeah, we'll do our build-offs. We do the Finding Vault Medic, which is basically our version of a storyline in Fallout lore. And so we tried to stay as true to the lore as we could in Fallout 76, but we created our own storyline where you started from the beginning, you got the quest line, and you met our agents as you went on to try to find Vault-Tec Medic. And so that was kind of something that we experimented with to see if it'd catch on, and it really kind of hit fire, and everybody responded very well to it. So you can definitely see something like that in the future. Not soon because it was a lot of preparation, but definitely something in the future. The other thing that we have going on, we haven't talked about it in recent times, but we are still having this. A lot of people are, tweeting me asking if we're still doing the Campy Awards.
The Campy Awards. Now, is that who can build the campus camp, or is that, is that actually who can build a camp? Because Campy Awards, campy in England means gay. It means flamboyant.
Yes, yeah. So it's not campy in the terms of in your Queen's English, but what it is it's the camp ease, and basically it's a play on words for the Oscars or the Emmys. Yeah. And basically what it is we select categories based on camp builds. So your typical houses, bars, oddities, and so we try to separate them into categories, and we'll select all the ones that we've evaluated, and we'll narrow it down to one winner. And so we will, per category, and so we'll find the winners per category, and each one, we're still trying to finalize what type of prizes we get, but it will be something real, something tangible that you can take home that we will send to you as a Campy Award winner. So that's something that we're definitely continuing to work on. We haven't talked about it in a little while, but it is still continuing.
See, now that's definitely a reason to go and check you out over on every single version of social media that they could possibly find you off. And I know we're just going to keep plugging you, but that's one of the fun things about hosting a talk show. I can plug whatever I want because I run the damn thing. But it does sound like the Vault Medic quest line that you guys set up, I'm pretty sure that was the first thing ever done of its nature within Fallout 76 itself. I know that the Random Encounters chat show that I host was the first ever chat show, and I do believe the only chat show that exists within the Fallout universe itself. It was a shame that we had to take it off the air because of the terrible audio, but I'm glad that it's back. But it sounds like the quest line that you did with Vault Medic was the first thing Well, on a grand scale, I'm pretty sure there was little things that people have posted on Reddit, like, if you're in my server, I have a quest for you and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I've seen stuff like that. But you guys had it over Twitch, over social media. You plastered this everywhere, and I really wanted to be a part of it. It's just that I had so much going on that I couldn't become part of this
Oh yeah,
first ever
yeah.
in-game
This
quest
is
that
one.
wasn't made by Bethesda.
Yeah, this is definitely a one together with all the agents, and we sat down and actually figured out, can we do something this ambitious? Because it's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of script writing. Because we are have a background in, a lot of us have a background in theater and acting, and so we are pretty good writers when it comes to adding a little bit of comedy, a little bit of flair, and some tangible quest lines. And so we kind of rough draft it, figured out that we can do it among all of our agents. And it took a little while, but we hyped it up. We created this whole little story about about Vault-Tec Medic being, going missing. And we tried to leave it as vague as we could to where you'd follow the story, the quest, through all of our agents across the entire server to all really iconic locations from all of our camps to figure out where Vault-Tec Medic is. And I didn't want to spoil it because you can definitely go back to our Twitch. You can watch that. It would be the Wasteland HOA, so you can watch it on our Twitch stream. We have it saved. But we're definitely going to do something like that again. I don't know how soon, but it's definitely coming down again. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely interested in doing that because it was like I really missed the fact that I couldn't do that because I was bringing this back. I was doing everything possibly. I was swamped completely with my channel, and I was like, it's kind of annoying that I couldn't be part of it, but I think I'll be part of it next time because I'm kind of getting into my rhythm now that I'm back on the air, and now that I've got an editor and all this kind of stuff that's really really helping with with my schedule on YouTube. I think it's definitely time that I start trying and getting out into the community because the only thing I've only done two things with HOA, and I'd love to do more stuff with HOA. Like you guys are a unique set of people on. Well, the thing is as well, you're cross-platform. If I had an Xbox, I would try and be cross-platform. If I had a goddamn functioning PC that wasn't a pile of tosh, I would probably try and do it on all three platforms. But obviously, that'd be a killer. Like that'd probably kill me in real life. But you guys, you're not on PC yet, which is a shame because it does cut out quite a lot of the people who play Fallout 76. But you guys, like when I did the Vault build, the community build challenge that you guys had, it was really impressive to see just how much effort goes into the streams that you guys do. Because I was watching the stream while doing it. I wasn't peeking on other people's builds because I turned it off when the build challenge started. But we had, while we were on just waiting for people to come up on Xbox, sorry, not Xbox, on PS4, it would jump over to the Xbox and you had hosts on the Xbox. So, asking how Boss Daddy did that, who is the guy who runs HOA, he was like, yeah, we've got a dedicated server and all this kind of stuff. And it must cost him a fortune to be able to do all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Boss Daddy is working his tail off. Him and Boss Mommy, the two, we have two founders who started the HOA, but Boss Daddy has definitely been taking the reins and been leading this, and he has done fantastic. We have a lot of faith in him. We see his vision that he has for the HOA, and so we're in total support of everything that he's doing. And he asks a lot of support from us too. So a lot of this is definitely a collaboration between all the agents. And we thought it'd be really cool to not only engage the community, but have something to where you can have teams face off and have the banter between each other and develop this kind of, reality show-esque banter between students, competition. And that really seems like people catch on to it very well, very responsive. And you're definitely going to be seeing more like that. I have a few ideas when it comes to build-offs as well that I definitely want to do. But yeah, we're definitely going to continue that. We had a lot of success on that stream, the build-offs. So that is definitely something that's going to continue through the HOA.
Well, We have one more topic to cover, which might last quite a while, but it is now August. Now, I don't know when fall is exactly because we're not. Well, I'm English, so I'm not on an American calendar. We have spring, summer, autumn, winter. We don't have fall. So when is fall? What month does fall
Uh,
start?
Fall is typically around the September, mid-September time.
Ah, well, the Wastelanders DLC drops this fall, as it says. I don't think it has a specific release date right now. I couldn't find one, but if it's dropping this fall, it will most likely drop towards either midway through September or early November. Um, and we don't really know a lot. We know some stuff. We know that we're having NPCs come into it. We know that the world that we currently coexist in with each other is going to be changing massively. But apart from that, Bethesda have kept quite a lot of stuff under wraps, and I think it's about time we speculate on some of the stuff. Now, we know for a fact that there will be more than just the two factions. So we know that there will be a raider faction, and there will be I guess you could call it just like an ordinary kind of faction. I can't really think of a name for. I'm pretty sure they named them, but I can't really remember. And trying to find them on the website of Bethesda's website was a pain in the buttocks. But we don't really know much about other things. So, what I want to do right now is I want to speculate with you. I want to do some speculative fiction because it is such an addiction. What I want to know is what do you think is going to be happening when it comes to factions, when it comes to NPC settlements, and what it comes to when companions are thrown into it. Now, we know for a fact that companions won't come with us out into the wasteland per se because multiple people will be able to have like I could have say if we took a companion from Fallout 3, so Jericho, I could have Jericho, you could have Jericho, everyone could have Jericho, So I'm pretty sure they stick towards more camp oriented stuff. So when let's kick it off with companions. What do you think we might be companions down the line?
So I've not only played a lot of Fallout, I haven't played a lot of Fallout 4. I kind of fell off the bandwagon a little bit when Fallout 4 came out, but I caught it later in its life cycle. But I played a lot of Skyrim too, and I see a lot of cross asks between like ideas, populating between the two big series. And I think when it comes to companions, Fallout could take a route from Skyrim, where you have a companion, but not one that necessarily follows you, but you could get into marriage and you could have somebody back at a camp. And so I can see that where you have our camp placements already. And so I could see having something that stays there, almost like a pet system, but just a little bit something more, something deeper than just your pet system. So I can see that as like a companion system to where it wouldn't be game breaking. It wouldn't, you wouldn't see the same type of companions following a troop of, four, squads.
Yeah.
And I think that could be something plausible. Like you said, we haven't gotten anything tangible from Bethesda. Nobody's made any official announcements, but speculation, that just going on the history of what they've done previously in games and what they can get away with in a multiplayer like this, because this is completely unique to what they've done before. So it's kind of hard to say, but if they're going back to their grassroots and stuff that they've done before, I'm thinking they could do something like a upgraded pet system that they just hang around your camp. They can give you certain type of items over time, or they have other types of benefits when you're in your camp. It just gives a little bit more depth to the camp and the reason why you have it.
Yeah, well,
But
I do think they mentioned that you will be able to romance companions. So That would be quite interesting because in Fallout 4, if you romance a companion, if you sleep in the vicinity of them, you get that I can't remember. It's like a lover's bonus perk or something where you get an
Mm-hmm.
extra XP. It's like when you get well tuned in this game. But
Yes.
Lover's
when it comes
embrace.
to that's it, lover's embrace. Thank you, Hayes. When it comes to things like the amount of companions you have, now it's always pretty much been tradition that you have one companion. You can hire in Fallout 4. You could
Yes.
have tons of companions and just send them to your camp and stuff. But it would it would be nice if we could have a camp, go out and not get every companion, but like obviously some companions will have, most likely will have a specific either fighting style or if they're more camp based because they want to try and keep them out of the world where they could mess up with the gameplay and stuff. They will most
Mm-hmm.
likely have something to do at the camp, maybe like junk gathering or farming or something like that. So maybe there'll be people that are more proficient at farming or more proficient at junking, or maybe they become something like a turret. And like not like you go into a build system and you just oh yeah I want to build Kate as a turret. It'd be like
Yeah, yeah.
put down they might put in because in Fallout 4 when you put down defensive structures at your camp you could assign people to it and they would sit there and defend the camp. Maybe you'll be able to do that with companions if because settlements will be coming in. If you could set up a trade route or a trade system with the settlements, so you send whoever your companion is, you go, I want you to take this stuff that we have. So I want you to produce food, and then I want you to take that food and sell it to this area, and then bring the caps back. That would be an interesting system because at the minute, unless you know how to make caps, you can't make caps. Like I have my way of making caps, which is making healing salves and then selling them. I can make about
Mm-hmm.
3,000 caps a day, depending on how quick I can find things outside of the White Springs vendors. But it would be nice to be able to use your
Mm-hmm.
companions to have a very small amount of cap income, but it would also give them something else to do instead of just I'm going out. It's literally the scenario of like a 1950s home. It's like the man walks in, he's like, "Hello, honey, I'm home," and she's been like, "Oh, how's your day?" It's like kind of like that, but it would be nice to actually give them
Yeah.
something to do, um, especially with the fact that they're throwing in with the settlements. There has to be some sort of connection.
Yeah. I was thinking, while you're kind of talking about the settlements and the different, specialties that someone can specialize in, maybe depending on the faction that they're based on, you could get some type of discount perks or some type of limited weaponry, or building assets that apply to certain factions
Oh,
that don't
that would
apply
be
to
nice.
others. So you get some type of benefit of having that type of companion. And if they're not limited to the camp and they follow you, I definitely know that they're going to isolate it to one. I don't see them having multiple. I mean, they didn't really. I mean, you had your ones that you can kind of switch out in Fallout 4, and the same thing with Skyrim. I think that that's probably going to be the case if they aren't limited to just being in the camp radius, where you'd be able to collect a few. They all sit in your hub, like at your camp, maybe even take up camp resources. So you're limited on how many you can have there. But you can come out, you can send them back to your camp, you can switch out, and each one would either have different type of combat skills or trading skills, or they could be a mule to carry all your junk. I know that Bethesda, they keep trying to creep up the amount of stuff you can carry at one time. It started with the power armors, and then then it carried on with the backpacks, and now what would be the next one? It would be actually another NPC to carry your stuff for you. So I can see that kind of system. And also, I mean, when you go down and you don't die and you're sitting there and you're not in a team, you're just like waiting to die. And so I could see a
Yeah,
reason of having an NPC around you to where they can come and pick you up and heal you, if they have stim packs. Now, when it comes to combat, that is kind of the ambitious part, is how deep can they go into combat? Can you give them legendary weapons? Can you give them legendary armors? You
Ooh.
know, could they basically become as strong, you know, maybe not as competent as you are, but as strong as you are? So that's where I'm like, I don't know, because, you know, it could be game breaking in Bethesda's eyes, in the community's eyes, it couldn't be, you know, so that's where I'm kind of 50-50 on if they could do that. But yeah, if they are limited to the camp, I could see them, you know, being able to make materials while you're away. So if you have, say, your watering systems, your food systems there, maybe they'll add like a refrigerator to where you can put storage food, and then you go away and then you come back to your camp, and they've just been collecting all that stuff and storing it for you. So you don't have to do that. Bethesda's been pretty good about making quality of life changes and adjustments and
Yeah, they have
additives,
recently.
and yeah, and so I think with just adding an NPC character to your camp, it would allow you to farm while you're away. So if you have your wheat, if you have your fruits, your vegetables, your farmland, they would go out and they'd literally just be picking that stuff while you're away. I could see something like that, which would be pretty nice, you know, saving time and saving, you know, all those, you know, farming hours.
Well, I just had a thought while you were talking about, if you when you go down and you're not part of a team, basically the only thing you can do is just die and respawn. I was
Yeah, it's bleed out.
like
Yes.
immediately, and I can't remember if this is his name, but in Fallout New Vegas there was a companion called Arcade Gannon. I think he was a medic, and he was like secretly part of the Enclave Remnant. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure every once in a while he would give you healing items because he was, in the universe he was a medic, so he would, always have a healing item on him that he could give to you or something. And I'm pretty sure, he used plasma weapons. I remember that. I can't remember if his name actually was Arcade Gannon, but it would be nice if you could, like, if you put down a chemistry station and you picked up a companion who was a doctor or had like a medical
Mm-hmm.
background, you could set them to craft healing items. If you had someone who was more of a
Yeah.
mechanic, they could craft you bullets. Not a lot, of course, but just like a small amount
Mm-hmm.
every now and then.
Every
But
now and then,
I
yeah.
think that would actually probably benefit the in-game economy because this is something that was brought up. I think on before we ended Fallout encounter for random encounters for audio reasons to get it all set up again. We had a guy come on who said that Bethesda doesn't stop duping because it actually benefits the in-game economy at times, from time to time. So like if caps aren't moving around, duping somehow creeps its way back into the game so people can dupe really high level weapons, and then they patch
Get your
duping so the people who have duped those weapons then sell the guns, and the caps start moving and stuff. So I
yeah,
think,
get your tinfoil hats on.
yeah, well, he did actually. He turned up in a tinfoil suit with a tinfoil hat. It was really funny.
Yeah, these guys
But
conspiracies. Yeah, I
if you
could see
could
it. I mean,
if you could actually have companions that crafted just basic things, so even if because you can't sell ammo unless you sell it in your camp. If they crafted ammo that you could then put directly into your camp, that'd be great. If they crafted basic healing items like, one stim pack every 3 hours, or healing salves or something, just something simple that you could then take and put into your vending
mm-hmm.
machines, you wouldn't you could spend more time playing the game as you had a small like little production settlement kind of going. So say you were only allowed one companion at a time, and you were like, do you know what? I want to make junk. So you get the companion that farms junk, and then maybe every time it gathers 10 of that, or whatever amount it takes to bulk it, it automatically bulks it for you and puts it in your stash. So then you can just go in and go, oh, I've got this bulk stuff that I don't need. Boom, straight into my vendor. And then people are like, oh, look, and it'd lower the caps as well, because right now, if I go out and I'm like, all right, I'm going to put some, lead in my vending machine, I will spend, like a good hour or two farming a bunch of lead that I can bulk and put
Hmm.
into my thing. So my manpower has just gone into that, which is why the cap price goes up. But if you can have it going in the background and then pop off and go do some quests or something for the new, all the new DLC that's dropped in, the cap prices would drop. People wouldn't get angry. Like, I get angry at some of the things that people price, some of the way people price their stuff. I get really angry at, and it's extortionary levels of selling that I've seen, like 5,000 for a banjo. Like, that one pissed me off. And yeah, when I say a banjo, I mean an instrument that you can just find randomly, like a trumpet, that does nothing
Oh
but can
yeah.
be scrapped. Some guy was
Yep.
selling that for 5,000 caps. Like, that
Yeah.
really pissed me off. But if you could have a companion that just made, like 10 bulk steel every hour, well, maybe not 10 bulk steel, but maybe 5 bulk steel every hour, the price on steel would drop drastically. New players to the game who don't have a lot of
Yeah.
caps, who need the steel, will be able to buy the steel, and the economy would probably boom. So it's an interesting thought, but I really do not know how they are going to do this.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting, and we could definitely keep doing this thought experiment. The one thing that I'm finding is the more people that play the game, the harder it is to start farming the materials around the world, because by the time you get to it, it's going to be gone. And so you're spending a lot of time jumping servers, I find, especially if you're farming material out in the world, where these, you've been kind of hinting at it with these NPCs, with these companions, they definitely could do it for you. And so instead of you collecting in the world, someone can specialize in manufacturing weapons, manufacturing gunpowder, manufacturing steel, or manufacturing plastic, things like that, where maybe you could gather material and they could use that material and craft more out of it over time than what you would be able to do just scrapping it. So yeah, I could see like specialists
It
where
would
they're
it
like
would it
a
would be nice.
blacksmith, or yeah, that would be nice. That would be definitely a good quality of life change for sure.
Well, you brought up earlier faction specific companions. We only know technically of two factions. We know there's going to be more than two factions, but at the minute, all we know about are the raiders and whoever the other people are. I'm just going to call them the settlers. Okay, I'm pretty sure they're actually called the settlers or something like that. But they're the people who aren't the raiders. But
Hmm.
it has been hinted that there might be or will be other factions. I'm thinking the Brotherhood. I'm thinking the Brotherhood's coming.
Oh yeah, they have to bring back the original factions that you're well known of. The Brotherhood faction. You're gonna have the Raiders. You're gonna have the Settlers. You could have the Free States. You can have, I don't know, maybe, so Bethesda's timeline, the way that they're describing it is essentially is that we're the first to release in the new world, so there's nobody here. But over time, as we've been playing, other states have been releasing their vaults as well, and so these settlers are coming from other areas, venturing into Appalachia. And so, I mean, maybe at some point we could see ghouls, ghouls around. That would be
Yeah, that would
pretty
be
cool to
interesting.
see. Um, so different factions. I would see NPCs. We already have the, Hammer, in his meat week, and so I could see something like super mutants, super mutant
Uh,
factions where you can actually get missions from them or actually have dialogue trees with them. And so
well,
I'm pretty excited about.
even with the missions that we've all by now have done some of, there is a possibility there could be a new Mistress of Mysteries going on. There's a possibility the Enclave could make somewhat of a return with people essentially joining the Enclave in order to launch nukes and such.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean, I can't not remember the place. I did this on like one of the very first things I did in the game, but there's that bakery. Somebody definitely,
Mama
if you know the
Dolce's.
name of it. Yeah, yeah, and it has that, secret layer underneath where it's almost like a commie propaganda
Yeah, it's
bunker with
the secret Chinese
the
bunker under.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so maybe we could see the stealth suit make a return from
Oh,
Fallout
don't
3.
tease me like that. Don't tease
Oh,
me.
And yeah, I'm excited. So we could see like a Chinese faction, a communist faction coming in. So I think just if you look at some of the building materials that they've been adding, some of the camp items, I'm seeing themes here, and I'm definitely thinking that they're not just pulled from random. The Free States, the Raiders, the commie posters, all these. I'm seeing things that they maybe could be hinting for future content, especially with the new settlers coming in and the new raiders, and I could see a lot of stuff happening, which I'm really excited for.
I think because it's I think people have data mined a lot of stuff that will possibly be coming up. Like, a way back, people data mined the bow. Now, I don't really know where to go to find all the information people data mine. Like, I check Reddit and I can't really find it. I don't know if there's a specific website or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure people data mined that there will be more factions. I think a faction I want to see, because they were the first faction I joined, is the Brotherhood. Like, well, technically the first faction I joined was the Responders, because you have to, but the first faction I chose to join was the Brotherhood. And I would really like to see the Brotherhood in as a faction, because they're not the Brotherhood we know. Like, the only time we've ever really encountered the Brotherhood that is currently in Appalachia is in, like, Fallout 1 and 2 in the older games, because that's set closer. Because this is the first game in the entire series, like, time-wise. Yes. So it would be nice to see how the Enclave are away on the oil rig, right? And they're not connected to Modus, and Modus creeps me the feck out. But we know that, so it would be interesting to see if there was a quest line where if you're part of the Enclave, you have to help Modus connect with the Enclave, and then it summons the Enclave faction, or maybe there's one for the Brotherhood. The Free States one is pretty simple. You just go to the bunkers. But I really want to see more people in power armor walking around with giant laser guns, because I know that's not really what Fallout is, but that's like Fallout 3 was advertised with a Brotherhood member in power armor. Fallout 4 wasn't really done that way, but a massive thing was the Predwin in the trailer shot. So I want to see more Brotherhood stuff. I'm sick and tired of just finding dead Brotherhood around the place. And I want to see more Enclave, because I want the goddamn Hellfire armor.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's kind of like whenever, I'm a big Terminator fan, and we keep seeing these Terminator, but we don't really see the Great War that happens. I mean, we saw it in a little bit of, Terminator, what was it, Salvation, I think it was, but it wasn't what we wanted to see. We want to see the laser guns. We want to see the robots versus the humans, and it's the same kind of thing here. We've been hinting at it for all these games, the Great War, the Brotherhood, and I would love to see something like that, like a big standout war, more power armors, the Brotherhood, being formed, Modus kind of taking over from his roots, because the Enclave, it isn't officially like a faction in the game like it is with the others. So you have the bots that signify the different factions, and so when you go to the traders, it actually tells you what faction they're a part of. Modus is kind of like hinting at the beginning of the Enclave, and like the uprising of that. So I think, especially with him having access to the bunkers, having access to the nuclear facilities, I can see something big happening with his storyline.
Yeah, I also want I guess it would be the continuation of the backstory of how Modus came to power, because we know from holotapes and stuff inside of inside the Enclave bunker, that Modus basically went rogue and killed everyone. So I want to see more of that, because like there's places in like the bombed out bunker stuff underneath. I think that would be a really good place to say that people from the previous Enclave still exist.
Yeah, I feel like Modus is kind of like the Skynet, where he just
he is.
Takes
He's
over
creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I really hate going to that bunker, because sometimes I'll just stand there so I can do something in real life, like write something down, and then my camera will start panning, and in the background there'll be a Modus terminal with his really creepy grin on it, and I'm like, get me the feck out of here. But I think
Yeah,
if
I
you
would
are
love to
going
see
to,
him.
yeah, that's the thing though. Like, I want to see more of Modus, but I don't.
Yeah, I want him to be like an ultimate bad guy where he is the final boss. Where they said that they're gonna add a brand new storyline quest. So we had our main storyline quest in here already, and now they're going to add a new one, especially with the new, the Wastelanders update with all the new factions. And we're going to get dialogue trees. We're going to get people who we can really interact with. And so it'll feel like a single player Fallout with a multiplayer add-on. And I cannot wait to do a vast storyline like that where you have a penultimate, you know, uh, final boss battle or anything like that. So I would love to see Modus in that role for sure.
Ooh, Modus uploading himself into a like highly advanced sentry bot. That'd be a pretty cool final fight.
Yeah. A mech fight.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Or like, well, remember we had with Broken Steel, we had Liberty Prime wiping out the remnants of the
Hmm.
Enclave. It'd be great
Yeah.
if the people who are part of the Brotherhood and people who are part of the Enclave, where they have a quest line for each faction that ends up converging with them having a big PvP battle.
Oh yeah.
That
I
would,
mean, they're doing it in Elder Scrolls Online, where it's a civil war amongst the different tribes and amongst the different peoples. So if they can get away with it with these big battles, what they're doing over there in Elder Scrolls Online, I definitely see that it can happen here with Fallout, 76, where we had the Scorch Queen. That was kind of the end game boss with what we had in the original storyline. Modus or something like that being a big, standout battle where you have to engage with a lot of people to take that bigger, opponent down. Something like that.
yeah. We've covered a lot tonight, but we are actually coming to the end because I do not want to let this thing run on too long for a first episode. But I think we've covered quite a lot today. We've covered, possibilities with NPCs, possible factions. We've talked a bit about the HOA, which was very fun. And where is it they can go check you out again?
So they can check out, for me, my personal Twitter handle will be Donkadooballs on Twitter, but just find me at Davy Jones 020389. That's gonna be the easiest way to find me on Twitter. With the HOA, it will be the Wasteland HOA. We're the only HOA in Fallout 76, so it'll be really easy to find us. And then that way you can get in contact with our other agents. If you're on Xbox or you have an Xbox and a PS4, definitely contact us with both camps whenever you're ready. If you want tips for building, we have accomplished builders outside of me. We have other agents that are really talented at what they do. And so reach out to us if you need help, if you need assistance, if you want some creative ideas. We have a lot of experienced players who've been playing since day one, so they can definitely tell you the ins and outs if you're a newer player, or even if you're a more veteran player as well and you want to kind of step up your game.
Well, it sounds like we're having a bit of ruckus outside the studio, so it looks like
Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have to go lay down the law.
it does indeed. Oh, look, the wall behind me just broke. How funny is that? What a perfect timing. There is a bloatfly
Yeah.
trying to take me out around behind me. So, I guess, well, it looks like you're getting up to go and handle that. Oh, God, with your giant harpoon gun. There he is.
Bloatfly.
Let's get that on cam. There we go. Look at that. There's probably more out there somewhere. But
Boom.
we'll just have to pass it over real quick. So we have an audience member, which is Hayes, who is currently streaming us on Twitch. Hayes, is anybody asking questions over there?
Nah, no questions today, but I myself kind of.
Oh, what have
Okay.
you got for us?
You're talking about like companions and such earlier and whatever. And I think I have a pretty good idea as to one they will for sure add, which is dogs. I don't remember if it's on this character or another one, but I have dog armor in my stash box on one of my characters.
Oh.
would that be in the game if, you know? So then my
Ooh.
question for that would be, if they did add dogs, do you think they would do an Atom Shop kind of thing with how they did for the
Oh, of
Creation
course they
Club
would.
as to what kind of dog you can have?
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
I can
talking
see
like
them
dog
doing skin
skins.
color. Yeah.
Yeah. I
First of
mean, the
Ooh.
all,
bombs did just fall, so the
Bethesda,
biodiversity of dogs is much greater.
Bethesda, if you're listening, we did not say dog armor. He does not have dog armor.
No, he has not broken the game and found a way to get dog armor.
We have. He has not found the secret vault that you're hiding on your goodies.
See, when it comes to something like that, I don't know. Obviously, they will add in dog armor cosmetics if dogs become a thing. I
Yeah.
don't know about them adding in different skins for a dog, because, like, how would you do that? You know, because
Well, they
it's
had
an
it
in-game.
in
Yeah, but they had it in other ones because
how
that was a
others
single-player
perceive it.
game. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
The only,
true.
the only thing I've seen in the trailer that they released, I did see bots, so you can own robots, like different types of robots, and so I can see them changing the skins of the robots.
Or maybe doing like the
Like
robot
they did,
builder.
yeah, like a robot builder or something like that, like they did with the power
The-
armors, where they have different skins of power armors. I mean,
the Mechanist add-on that they added for the Robot Workshop.
yeah,
For
I could
Fallout
see
4.
something like that.
I would like to see robot companions because I would either recreate some of the robots that I built in Fallout 4, which like I had Drinko, the beer dispensing robot. He worked at a bar. It was so funny.
Oh my god, yes.
He actually because we were in Boston. I got a mod that allowed me to have the bar Cheers from the 80s TV show in the game, so he worked there, which was pretty funny. But I would also like to be able to recreate Eddie or EDE from Fallout New Vegas because he was a lot of fun.
That's real.
But I am checking the chat and I don't see any questions in my chat. We don't have any questions in the Twitch chat. So I think we're going to have to end it there, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank everybody for popping on by. Random encounters will be happening every Friday, so feel free to come on down. Now, we will not be having an in-game audience anymore because for audio reasons, I want to keep it in a chat, and the maximum amount of people you can have in a chat is 8, so there's no way we could fit an entire audience in. But if you did not catch today's stream, or you've
We'll
only
let
just
you
popped
watch,
in,
though.
yeah, we'll let you watch. If you've just popped in at the end of the stream, don't worry. All the footage from here and Twitch will be thrown together in a big compilation at the end and uploaded separately, most likely next week. After, so there'll be a week in because it takes a while to edit because I suck and Paulie's going back to school. So yeah, you could be able to catch on them edited like an actual TV show, hopefully. But that is all we have time for. We have had some great questions, we've had a great guest, and we've had a lot of fun. So, from me, it is goodbye. What about you, Hayes?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. What about you, David?
I'm good to go.
There
Thank
we
you
go,
guys for
ladies and
watching.
gentlemen. Thank you for watching.
All right.
I've been Captain Beardy, and as always, stay awesome.